Okay, just one more piece of news, guys. May 7th, 2023, the fires burning in Alberta, and specifically a forest fire set and spread thanks to a federal equity program promoting all genders in firefighting, which lost control of a prescribed burn Wednesday that Canada Parks admitted went out of control. Can you believe it? Again, the diversity hire and liberal consequences of their political satire agenda has caused a forest fire because they're putting people who are not trained or qualified in positions such as firefighting and creating a prescribed burn. The controlled blaze occurred Wednesday at Banff National Park as part of Canada's first ever Women in Fire Training Exchange, the WTREX, with 35 women applicants present for training with diversity inclusion goals in mind. Now, I personally know it takes a lot of physical training and exercises and to pass these tests to become a firefighter, whether it's a volunteer firefighter or just a semi-first responder firefighter. My friend TJ just went and passed all these courses, and he explained that you have to do some amazing tests that not many people, like I wouldn't be able to pass any of these tests because I'm not training full-time to prepare for them. Like climbing, what was it, a 50 or 100-foot hanging rope ladder in a certain amount of time. You have to climb whatever, like how many 10-floor swinging ladder rope, a rope ladder as one of the tests, and then carrying a person's weight through a small confined area and having to deal with this all on time limits. There's so many tests that he went through, and half of the field who are trained for this, who trained to be a firefighter, fail. Only a few actually make it through to the final end and actually get hired. So the fact that they're doing this diversity hire is fucking laughable considering what it takes to really be a firefighter in the physical world. And we all know males who transgender over to females and then try to enter the female sports of the Olympics or any local sport have an advantage because males have testosterone and we have the ability for more muscles. There is a reason why our kids also are having a terrible time growing up because both parents have to work, and the liberals are promoting that agenda as well. Oh, everybody has to work to pay for life. So the kids have no mother at home, or the opposite, one father. There's always both parents working, and the kids grow up as criminals without any guidance these days. And we're seeing the rise in crime rate, the rise in kids suicide, the rise in so many social issues. So according to the call for applicants, the TWREX, again, the Women in Fire Training Exchange, engaged participants of all different genders, ethnics, and racial backgrounds to explore the growing role of women in fire management while also serving as a training opportunity. Canada Parks said firefighters, with the assistance of 5 helicopters, contained the fire 3 hectares outside the prescribed burn area, as first reported by Countersignal. Okay, so let me examine this. So there's 5 helicopters to assist containing or trying to contain the fire, which is 3 hectares outside the prescribed burn area. So it's out of control. Yeah, well, that has nothing to do with why it started. Around 1600, due to an unexpected shift in wind direction and speed, the fire escaped the predetermined boundary, the federal agency stated. Parks Canada issued a temporary evacuation order for residents, tourists, and livestock at Rocky Mountain Resort. Wow, I know that area. That they rescinded later that day. Evening precipitation has further assisted with suppression. Given current weather conditions and resources, the fire is not anticipated to grow beyond expected boundaries, they tweeted. Fire personnel will continue to work on the fire as required. I mean, to give you some context, here I'm in BC, and BC is the desert compared to Alberta. Alberta, the snow sticks around for months longer than where I am in the Okanagan, which is a fire season area. Typically, Alberta doesn't have the fire season that BC has, or certainly the Okanagan and southern Okanagan, where it's literally the warmest place in Canada, right to Osoyoos at the border. And so to have fires now in May is absolutely ridiculous and suspicious. And now we see, oh, because it wasn't started by any natural lightning or anything caused. It started by man and it started by woman. Sorry, let's be specific here. On Friday, Alberta Premier Daniel Smith activated the Emergency Management Cabinet Committee in response to the current wildfire situation across the province. Department officials briefed the Premier and the Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Services on the evolving situation and committed to daily technical briefings to the media until its resolution. There are currently 92 active wildfires in Alberta. 92. 31 classified as out of control. Of the remaining fires, 17 are being held and 44 are under control. As of the time of writing, Alberta wildfire official confirmed the ongoing fires had impacted approximately 43,000 hectares of land, well above the 800 hectare average expected for early May. 800 average to 43,000. You guys get your calculators out because I'm filming this right now. 43,000 divided by 800, or is it 800 divided by 43,000? What's the percentage? What's the times amount difference for that? Essentially, it's around 50 times more fires than normal. 50 times more likely fires. Wow, that's insane. That is insane. That's insane. Alberta government was asked about the burning exercises with over 13,000 Albertans displaced under ongoing evacuation order throughout the province. A province-wide fire ban and a prohibition on off-road vehicles remains in place. Oh, there goes our side-by-side queue, man. Oh, bullshit. If we were in Alberta, which makes no sense because it's May. It's May. What the hell is going on in May? Who's setting off all these fires? I mean, I know when I was dirt biking the last year, I would see all these burn piles that were set up. It was very suspicious as well. They'd go into the forest and they'd cut a whole bunch of trees down and make these giant burn piles and just leave them there dry, ready to be lit on fire. I wasn't quite sure why and how and the reasons behind it. So it made me suspicious. Yeah, with 7 declared states of local emergency and 1 banned council resolution. Prescribed burns are traditionally held earlier in the spring, where we can remove built-up fuels that could be used to draw a wildfire to a populated area, said a wildfire official in it. It's a very common practice. So I'd be curious to see how they actually do that in the details, because what I saw was, I don't know, it might not have been the same, or it might have been, but it was very weird to go in and chop down 50% of the trees and make burn piles and just leave them there. So in the winter, did they light them off? You know, they should have been lighting them off in the winter. The official told Rebel Saturday that the purpose of a prescribed burn was to achieve several objectives, including mitigating the risk of wildfire in the Banff and Canmore area. However, they did not comment on the appropriateness of this particular exercise. If there's this many wildfires going on already in Alberta, so why is the government officials allowing this to happen, a controlled burn now, when there's actual forest fires going on? Public Safety Minister Mike Ellis added the province is focused on protecting human life and property and making available resources to temporarily displaced Albertans. The federal government is on standby providing help, and we will use their resources if our officials have asked us to do so, said Smith after the fact. The WTREX advocated for 50-50 gender representation among firefighters. Why? People can go into whatever job they want. Why are you giving people bonuses if they're a woman to get into this job? There's many jobs that everyone wants to do, and there's some that people don't want to do. And there's some that are better for certain genders. That's why there is man and woman. We have better advantages. Women have several advantages over men, and they're really good at controlling men, so there's several advantages each way. Calling the exchange program a sign of progress for the community. Oh, that's a great sign of progress. Sign of forest fires, yeah. Did you know women are still underrepresented in the firefighting community? Yeah, I know, because they're women. They're not firefighters. Firefighters have to be very strong, usually men, athletes. You need to be a full-on athlete. And if they don't want to go in that position, so be it. If they're not training for it, so be it. Diversity is the strength, which is why WTREX Canada empowers more women to become leaders in fire management. Well, maybe you should try teaching better so we don't have forest fires going on. Everybody's allowed to do whatever job they want. You don't need to give them a job over somebody else who is more qualified or trained. Enough said. Point made. Irnieracing News.